CCC family, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today I'm going to teach you how to make the easiest crochet leaf ever. And it's so quick, so easy to remember, not a lot of stitches to think about. So this is a great beginner friendly leaf. So I'm going to put that in my title, and I'm going to try to go slow to show you. Now it is done with a Tunisian stitch, but I want to let you know that you don't need to know Tunisian crochet to do this. It's that easy, okay? I'm using a regular old 5mm hook. You do not need a Tunisian hook for this. Like I said, it's just, we're just going to call it regular crochet, even though it technically is Tunisian, okay? All right, and you're going to need a pair of scissors and a darning needle working your ends, and I am going to show you how to work in your ends. Now, I'm just using some green yarn here. You can use any size hook, any size yarn. Just remember that the size of your hook and the size of your yarn is either going to make your project bigger or smaller, okay? So this is a weight 4 yarn and a 5mm hook to make a leaf this size. So you can make them much smaller or you can make them bigger. Okay, so let's get into the tutorial. So for the size leaf I'm making, I'm going to make a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay. Then I'm going to pull up loops going all the way down. So I've got this loop on my hook. I'm going to keep that on there, and I'm going to go right into my next stitch, and I'm going to pull up a loop. I'm not going to go through anything. I'm just going to keep pulling up loops in every stitch, just like this. And as I go along, I'm going to pull up a little bit more with each one of these. Okay, so we're going to start off pulling up small and then building it up just a little bit by pulling a little bit more as we go. And by the time we get to the end, I've pulled up quite a bit of my yarn for each of these. Okay, so this is what it would look like on your hook. We started off smaller, got a little bit bigger, and got pretty big here at the end. Okay, now we're going to yarn over and go through 2 of these loops right here. And I'm staying at the top of my work. And again, I'm going to yarn over, go through this loop and the next loop. Yarn over, go through this loop and the next loop. So you're going through 2 all the way down. And when I say I'm keeping it at the top of my work, I'm yarning over and keeping it right up at the top of this loop right here to keep the fullness that I have of those loops. So I'm not going down into the stitch like that. I'm staying up at the top. Just like this. Then when you get to the end, you're going to pull through just like that, and that's one side of your leaf done. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to go right into this first. Okay, so what you're looking at, if you turn it over on its side here, you see all of these stitches. You're going to be working into all of these. Sometimes it can be hard to find. You've got this space right here. You don't want to go into this space. You don't want to go into this corner thing right here. You want to go right into the top of this stitch right here. And you're going to pull up a loop. And into your next stitch. And pull up a loop. And you're going to do just like you did on the other side. Pulling up a little bit more as you go. And you're finding the top of these stitches and going through all those little bumps that you see. So again, just pulling up loops till I get all the way down. And you don't want to forget this last stitch either, right here. So you want to go into it as well. Pull up your last loop. And this is what it looks like on your hook. And then you're going to go through all of these, working into the top, going through 2, okay, and there we go. You've got an almost finished leaf. This is the front and this is the back. But what's happened is, because we're doing Tunisian, you've ended on this side. So the way that we work in our yarn for this leaf is very important in finishing it. So you want to leave just a little bit of your yarn there so you can work it in. So you're going to go through and chain 1. And then you're going to turn your leaf over. And as you can see, you've got a little bit of a gap here where you need a point. And that's what we're going to do when we work this in. So turn your leaf back over on its other side, the back side. Use your darning needle. And then you're simply going to take this and you're going to go through these loops over here to pull this together. And when you pull that down very gently, you're going to create a top to your leaf, just like that. Okay. And if you wanted even more, you could do that as well. You could go back up through here and go over to this side again and make a little point that way. So you could really do it any which way you want there at the end with working in your ends. But you want to work this in 3 times. And you want to work in the back of your stem part going down the leaf so you can't see it from the front. Okay, so be just like that. Trying hard to make sure that this doesn't show through to the other side. And I'll show you what that looks like when you do that. It is easy to do. And I've got one here, and it's a pretty leaf, but I worked through the front of it. Right here, you can see. You see where I worked through the front here? And if that happens, you can just undo it, pull it out the other side, and work it in that way, okay? So you want to make sure that you don't see your stitches like that, okay? So what I'll do is I'll work that back and work it back in the other side. If that happens to you, just do that. Also, you can leave the end, a little bit on the end on if you want to leave a stem there, okay? So like this one that we just did, I could leave a little bit of this on to leave a stem leaf, or I can just work it into the back 3 times up and down the center so you can't see through to the front, and then it would just not have anything on the bottom at all. Another thing you can do is to make a thicker stem. You can take your darning needle to make that as well. So what I would do is I would turn my work over. I would go in right here, working loosely, just like that. Then I'd probably go in again, right over here. And then I'd work it in the rest of the way up the inside of the stem here, okay? And then that would leave a little stem at the bottom like that. Okay, so it's totally up to you, however you want to do it. Working in the ends for this leaf is what's going to make it all come together. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, really easy, really short stuff here. But if you need any help, you can comment below. If you don't feel comfortable with that though, I've got a Gmail, an Instagram, a Facebook, and a TikTok that you can find me on there as well. And yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notify me bell and share those videos, guys. That helps more than anything. I'll see you again soon. Happy crocheting. Bye-bye.